Everybody. My name is Calida Jones, and I am the one of the co-founders of Creative Evolutions and a collaborator. And we started Creative Evolutions 2 years ago in 2022, Doug and I. And we started Creative Evolutions because I'm a big believer in resistance. And when I say resistance, I mean resisting the urge to do things the way they've always been done. Frankly, that's boring. And it doesn't really center people. It prioritizes organizations, which I feel like it kind of dismisses the idea of being a human and the complexities of all of us and our lived experiences. And so I had been wanting to start something, and the moment for that to happen happened to appear in 2022. Started having conversations about it in late August, and then September 15th, we technically launched, though we had a contract already. We just hadn't activated it yet. I called Doug. He said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know." And I said, "I'm going to tell you what you're doing. You're going to build a business with me, and we'll see what happens." And here we are in 2025. And, we're doing a lot of really incredible, amazing work that takes a lot of energy and heart and determination. Well, for one, it's Black woman owned. Doug and I both own it, but intentionally I own more of it than he does. Because again, we're resisting what's always been. What's always been is you bring in people of color, but giving them ownership and power to make decisions is not the norm. But we are actively breaking that down to become the norm. And it is a big deal for people who think, well, everybody has a chance. That's not always true. That's just not the reality for a lot of people in the world. And I take it very seriously, knowing that I'm representing the Black community, the global majority community, and also bringing everyone else along. That does not mean that anyone else gets left out. It just means that decision making has an even more democratic process. I will say, whatever we do, we both have to agree on it. There's no one person that makes a decision. We both have to agree. We both have to sign contracts and talk through them. And we both have to agree to fire organizations whose values don't align with what we're trying to accomplish. So I think that's what sets us apart. Also, we compensate finalists and semi-finalists in the executive searches, which is starting to become a conversation, but we actually compensate. So we're not giving a gift card. Like, we pay, it could be a bill. It could be part of your rent. It could be groceries for a week at this point, maybe even a day, because, oh my God. Anyway, and then we are collaborators. We're not a recruiting firm. We're not headhunters. We advocate for the talent who's willing to put themselves out there for opportunities. We take care of them. We make sure they have what they need, because ultimately they cannot do a great job if the organization is not set up and poised to nurture and take care of them. So we do our best to model that internally with Creative Evolutions, and also model it in front of our clients that we have. So I think that's what sets us apart in the creative space. One lesson that I've learned from this is to slow down and encourage others to do the same, especially organizations. I think everyone is running on a constant hamster wheel in arts and culture, specifically in the United States. And there's a high level of urgency. And I get it, because that is the societal construct that we have grown up in, that we have been surrounded by. But that does not mean that has to define how we support, uplift, and amplify arts and culture. I think we do need to be more careful and more intentional about decisions, about programming, about collaborations, and about partnerships, and build them intentionally and slowly. So slowing down, I think. I have always lived in discomfort. Like, I have not ever had the permission or the opportunity to just function through comfortably, or turn a blind eye, or just keep moving through like nothing's happening around me. And so I recently just said to a group of people, last week, I said, if you're not experiencing discomfort throughout the day or every day, you're not doing things extraordinary, like you're ordinary. Anything that you're doing that requires you to push or lean in deeper to something that you're unfamiliar with or uncomfortable with, that's an extraordinary move. But when you sit and do things as normal or business as normal, it's ordinary. And I don't believe that everybody has to be ordinary. I think you can choose to be ordinary, and that's okay. I'm not negating it, I'm not knocking it, but that discomfort, that requires a level of strength that not everyone is equipped with, and that's okay too. But once you know that you can function with it, and I have not had an option to say, you know what? I just want to be ordinary. I just want to work my job and just go home. I don't get that privilege because I'm also trying to simultaneously build something generational. And when you want to build something generational, that means comfort goes right out the window. It means you have to function and live in discomfort. And that's okay. I choose to move through with confidence, but underneath that confidence is always a layer of discomfort, because I know I'm going to say something or do something that's going to make somebody else or a organization uncomfortable or give them pause. And that's okay. I'm not here to make people comfortable. I'm here to activate change. I'm here to activate resistance and break down barriers and dismantle systems that don't serve everyone. I always think, sometimes I wonder, and I've asked this question to a couple people, and Doug and I have talked about this before, like, is there a sense of loss of perceived power? Like, I feel like a lot of people in organizations don't want to change because they feel like their power is going to be taken. And then it's like, the power of what? Like, what are you going to do if I leave? You can't do anything to me. You can't physically harm me. I may be emotionally drained, but I will always rebuild and I will always get back up because I have ancestors that are activating. So I also think there's a layer of perceived dismantling of power and control of people and decisions. And that's frankly not acceptable either in 2025. Like, there's enough for everyone. Like, I know we're in a season right now of a lot of variables, of unknowns, of disruptions of a catastrophic level right now in the country that is not lost on me. And even with all of that, there is still enough for everyone. If we can just figure out how to break off pieces and share it, my, what a harmonious life that could be. The values that are written on your website or in your handbook or on your print collateral, and then what it means to activate those values. A lot of times I feel like the missing pieces contain the how. Like, how do we do that? And I think that's one of the things I really appreciate about Creative Evolutions is that, you know, when Doug and I sat down to do this, and to be clear, like, we never had a meeting and built out a blueprint. It was literally fly by the seat of your rubber pants on water. It was just like slide and fly. We didn't build out a blueprint, but what we did do was, after any decision or any process that we set up that aligned with our values, we would talk about it and talk about, okay, well, how are we going to activate this? And then we would just do it. Like, we would just, the next day we would do it. We didn't have to wait for a meeting and go through a committee and have 15 votes to finally move it forward 6 months later. We literally took 24 hours, talked through a decision, made the decision, and activated it the next day. So a lot of times it's the how, and that can paralyze people. That can paralyze them in fear. That can paralyze them in misinterpretation, misunderstanding, or fear of, what if it fails? What if it fails? Good, because you're getting closer to the success. I'm a big supporter and believer in failure. I have failed often, and I will continue to fail because I know that that is the growth that's needed to step into success, to step into supporting and uplifting others, to step into giving other people an opportunity, a leg to stand on. And so I believe the missing pieces contain the how. So I think if organizations, teams spent a little bit more time talking about how do we activate this value or this action, and then did it, man, I feel like there's so much brilliance that's sitting in a queue, right? Like, there's like a whole lot of brilliance sitting in a queue because nobody knows how to start it and how to make it happen. And Doug and I and our team, you two, and Kim, and Dr. Kim, I should say, and Rebecca, and Abby and so many others that have touched Creative Evolutions, we talk about the how and then we do it. And if it fails, okay, we'll try it a different way. And that's okay. I mean, could you imagine if doctors like didn't make mistakes, but then made a mistake on a real person? That would be unfortunate. So, I mean, I think you got to do like the hows. Like you have to really focus on the how and do it, make the mistake, try again. And it's pulling up and trying again.